अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मा। अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़िहना फ़िद्दीन। अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अस्अलुका इल्मन नाफ़िया व रिज़्क़न तय्यिबा व अमलन मुतक़ब्बला आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन. So here we are with our session number 218 for Quranic Arabic Grammar, in which we are learning Sarf and Nahu of Suratul Qalam. And let's start where we left in our last session. So we were completing our verse number 46, if you all remember, and there was a question about the type of fa that is present in this part of the verse. So there was one of the opinion was that this was fa at-ta'liliya. If it is fa at-ta'liliya, can anyone give me the translation for that? How do you translate ta'lil? If something is harf ta'lil, because, what else can we use? Because, so that, very good job. Yes. So if you want to call it ta'liliya, and we have, confirmed that one of the books also calls it ta'liliya, it's going to be translated as so that. So here, when you look at the verse and you try, I'm going to show you the translation. Or do you ask of them a payment so that they are by debt burdened down? So if you add so that here, or just the so is also going to suffice as well, as translated by Sahih International, then this sentence can be considered as jumlatu ta'aliliya, as mentioned before by Sister Aisha. And in that case, if it is jumlatu ta'aliliya, it's going to be la muhalla laha min al-i'rab, right? If it is considered faul atifa, can it be called faul atifa? You may find it, as faul atifa. In that case, you are going to again make the sentence as la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, but the reason is going to be different, because in if I'm calling it matuf, the sentence before it is also la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. That is why this sentence, which is matuf on the sentence before, if we label it as fa al-atf, is going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Is this clear to all of you? How our sentences are going to be without any status? What is the reason for sentences to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab? Is everyone good with that? Alhamdulillah. Okay. So now the next thing that we see here is, again, our sentence, our verse number 47 is also beginning with another and how are you going to label this It is again going to be the same type. You are not seeing any hamza before, so you are just going to call it munqata'a bimani bal, and indahumul ghaib. Indahumul ghaibu. How are we going to label it? We are going to call it jumlatul ismiya, right? It is jumlatul ismiya. Indahum is going to be my muta'alliq bil, it is a shubu jumla. It's going to be my muta'alliq bil khabar and muqaddam, and al-ghaibu is going to be my, what is the labeling for al-ghaib? Everyone should answer. This is an easy one. It is going to be mubtada muakhar. Mubtada muakhar. If I ask you, what is the hukum of taqdeem here? What is the hukum of taqdeem here? It is going to be jaiz, because mubtada is proper. In that case, it is permissible for mubtada to come at the end, right? So for this course, you have to learn by heart the slide that I have shown you, and I've also posted on my channel, how there are cases when taqdeem is jaiz, and there are 4 cases when taqdeem is wajib. Everyone must know all those cases by heart, okay? And then comes fahum yaktubun, and fa in this case, you can label it as fa at, right? And hum is going to be your mubtada, and yaktubuna is going to be your khabar of this mubtada, right? And it is jumla ismiya, and yaktubuna is jumla failiya. with file bab al-jama'a, and it is marfu bi thubut noon, and the status of this jumla is going to be fi mahalli raf'in khabar, right? So this was the we are talking about people that are being given respite, and now you are seeing fasbir li hukmi rabbik. Here you are seeing an amr in the beginning, and the fa here, how will you label it? Now there is a change in that there's a new topic. So when there's a new topic, in among the cases where you can put your istinaf, if and do you remember the cases where we can use istinaf for our haruf? The two cases that I talked about in the last session. Anyone remembers those two cases? If there is a change in tense, if there is a change in tense, or there is a change in pronoun, you start about thinking about istinaf. The third case is if there is a change in kalam. And what are the two types of kalam you have been learning so far? You have learned kalam insha'ya and kalam khabariya, right? Insha'ya and khabariya. So previously, fahum yaktubuna is what type of a kalam? Is it insha'ya or khabariya? Is it just giving you information, or it's demanding anything from you? It is just khabariya. It is just a jumla ismiya which is coming up as, kalam khabariya. And then comes isbir. When there is isbir, is there any demand? Is there any insha? And there is an insha, and insha is talbi because it is failul amr, failul amr. So we can, start to think about fa as fa istinafiya. Okay. There is a change in kalam, there is a change in pronoun, or there is a change in tense. We can, that could be a giveaway for istinaf. Okay. Is this clear to all of you? Now, first bir is a failul amr wal fa'il. Damir mustatir anta li hukmi is going to be jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil fail, and rabbik, rabbi is majroor bil idafa, and ka is your attached pronoun which is again majroor bil idafa and it's a part of this whole thing, right? Wala takun, wala takun. So wow, in this case, what type of wow? It's going to be at. And what is helping us? There was a kalam in shaya talbiya before wow, and after that is also la takun. La, the type of la is going to be la nahiya. Why are we calling it la nahiya? Why is it la nahiya? What is the why? What made you think about la nahiya? Because there is a mudare that is majzoom after it. Mudare majzoom after it is making you think about la Nahya. Mudare is majzoom bisakun. It is not, noon has not been dropped. My dear sister, it was takunu. It was takunu. And waw, which was a weak letter, it got dropped. Noon just took upon itself a sakun, right? No problem, my dear sister. And you are just, because of how things work, the weak letter goes away and you are left with takun. And if I ask you, what is going to be the pronoun in word takun? What is the answer for that? It is going to be anta. The anta, which is a pronoun in fail naqis nasikh kana, is going to be file or naibul file or ismu kana. How will you label it? It is going to be ismu kana, and kasahibil huti is going to be your jar wal majroor. Kasahibi is going to be jar wal majroor. Sahibul bil huti is going to be in idafa, and it is going to be your muta'alliq bil fail or muta'alliq bil khabar, which is because we are treating it as jumla ismiya. Okay. Now comes everyone with me so far. Is this clear to all of you? Okay, so now the next thing that we are looking at here is nada. When you have is, it is going to be a mudaf. Very good job. And the special thing about is as mudaf is, its mudaf ilayhi is going to be jumla. Very good job. It's going to be a jumla because it is why it's mudaf ilayhi is going to be always a jumla, because it is mabni ala sakun. It is mabni just like iza, just like haisu, just like um, lamma. So anytime these words are going to be mudaf, their mudaf ilayhi will only be a sentence. Okay, inshallah. So now comes your wahua makzoom, wahua makzoom. So when you have wahua, waw is haliya, hua is going to be your mubtada, and makzoom is going to be your khabar. And is the presence of waw here jaiz or wajib? Is the waw no, this is a case when there's a pronoun in the beginning. Remember, when the pronoun is in the beginning, you must have wow right there. If the pronoun was, remember the cases where mubadi or wow halia, when there is when and where you will find your wows. 1 second, I'm just trying to pull those notes for you so that you all can. It's very difficult to find in these slides, but let me just take you to my other slides. So it's going to be a little easy and quicker, inshallah. So here, so if it is the waw halia, when ayat is in the beginning of the sentence, mandatory to have waw halia. Wahum ya'lamuna. Wahuwa makzoom. Isn't the same thing? Wahuwa makzoom in Surah Al-Qalam. So waw is mandatory. Waw is mandatory. If it was pushed to the pushed from the beginning, like here, wajhuha mutahallilun, then ha is, it is not in the beginning, right? Ha is not in the beginning, this pronoun. Therefore, we don't see any vowel halia in this sentence. Okay, so keep that in mind, inshallah. So now when you see is nada, is, you have labeled it as your, how did we learn it as? We learn it as a mudaf, but it is also ismiya, zarfiya. So how will you connect it to the verse? How will you connect it to your verse before? It is going to be, can it be, it is zarf zaman, yes, it is zarf zaman, but how is it going to be connected to whatever has been mentioned before? Muta'alliq bil, how is it, can it be a hal of the person who is sahibul hut? Can it be the hal of sahibul hut? Because remember your zarf, your shubhu, when you have a zarf, not shubhu, but when you have a zarf, it can be it can be it can be a hal, it can be one form of the hal. Remember, we have been learning that in this course, that jar wal majroor and zarf can also be hal. So this is, when he called, you don't need to be patient, or and you cannot be this cannot be connected to takun. It is connected to sahibul hut, right? This is the condition of sahibul hut. Don't be like sahibul hut when he while he was calling, while he was makzoom, while he was distressed, right? This is a timeline that is related to Sahibul Hud, who was Yunus alayhi salam, right? Prophet, when Prophet was not even there when he was calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while he was distressed, right? So right now in Medina, there is no chance of that, or in Makkah, there is no chance of that. This is nada, is the hal of Yunus alayhi salam, okay, who is also called Sahibul Hut in this verse, okay? I hope this is clear to all of you. Alhamdulillah. Lawla, when you see lawla and there is something after it, it is shartiya, but what helps you determine that this is going to be only shartiya? This cannot be tahdidiya, because it is ghair jazima. Yes, it is ghair jazima. It is from the adwatu shart ghair jazima. But how do we know that this is only shart? But because lawla has two types. But how do we pick one from another? What help us determine that this is not shart? What is the giveaway here? Yes, yeah, so an, what is special about this an? It is masdariya. Yes, it is an masdariya. So it, along with its fail, is going to make masdar al-mu'awwal. And masdar al-mu'awwal, is it treated as an ism or a fail? It is going to be treated as an ism, right? It is treated as an ism. So anytime, so when you are answering, if you find a noun after it, barakallahu fiki, for all those who have understood it like that. If there is laula and there is a noun after it, I'm going to call it shartiya. If there is a laula and there is a fail after it, I'm going to call it tahdidiya. Here, an tadarakahu is going to be masdar al-mu'awwal, right? Masdar al-mu'awwal, therefore, this one is going to be shartiya, right? It cannot be tahdidiya because there is masdar al-mu'awwal, there is a compound ism, an plus fail makes an ism, masdar al-mu'awwal. It has a meaning of masdar. It has an interpretation of a masdar, and masdar is an ism, right? We don't call masdar a fail. So an tadarakahu, an masdariya, tadarakahu is going to be, what is going to be tadarakahu? How will you treat it as? Is it madin? Okay. So if you are treating it as tadaraka, as madin, who is going to be its, who after is going to be maf'ul? Very well done, Fashabi. Ni'matun min rabbi. Ni'matun min rabbi. Ni'ma is going to be, how do you label ni'matun? Outside doer. And ni'matun, can it be connected to whatever is after it? Very good job. So ni'matun is a common ism. Good job, Zarina. Mir rabbihi is the sifa, which is jar wal majroor, is a sifa for your ism, that is nakira. They are making mawsoof wa sifa, and ni'matun is your outside doer, and the whole thing is going to be together. Tadarakahu, when you look at fail tadaraka, if ni'ma is the outside doer for it, tadaraka, what do you think is a pronoun in fail tadaraka? It is here. Okay, if it is here, how come it is madin? It got dropped its ta. So some are calling it madin and some are calling it mudari. So which are you calling it, madin or mudari now? So Sufaiza, since your answers are coming to me, so this is, so it is madin. Okay, if it is madin, okay, let's treat it as madin. If it was madin for feminine outside doer, now stay with me, okay? Tadaraka, madin, for feminine outside doer, the feminine fail is tadarakat, right? Tadarakat, right? Tadarakat, and ta is not there. Where is ta? So if it is ta, but even if you are thinking about it as huwa tadaraka, can nema be still its outside doer? What do you think? And we have covered a lot of these cases. Lot of these cases. Yes, there's a gender mismatch series that when you were learning your ISM file, I taught you there can be a gender mismatch. The cases of gender mismatch between a fail and a file. The very beginning of your course in your second term, when we started our second term, Alhamdulillah, we covered the cases when there can be a gender mismatch. But yes, if you are going to treat it as madin hua, just stay with that. Okay, for madin hua, if I still call it tadaraka as fail madin and call ni'ma its outside doer, how is it allowed? Why is it allowed to take an outside doer? Because of a distance. Very well done, Afshan. Very well done. Because of the distance, there is a fasila between tadaraka and ni'ma, and the fasila came because of the pronoun in between, right? The second case is ni'ma. Is it a real feminine? Is it muannas hakiki or majazi? What do you think? It is majazi, fake feminine. If a file is fake feminine, is gender mismatch allowed? Yes or no? It is allowed. It is allowed, right? So this that was that. You can still have huwa tadaraka and nema can be its outside doer. But now think about it. Can it be hiya mudare tatadaraka 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 hu ni'matun, and it got its ta dropped, and I taught you in your family 6 and 5, the ta families. What did I teach you? When I was teaching you surf, I taught you in surf that sometimes because of just the ease, according to Alfiya ibn Malik, when the two tas are together, it is permissible to drop one ta. It is permissible to. It's not merging or it's not doing anything. It just got dropped, right? It is not there. There is no merging happening. It just got dropped. Just like you see, like tazakkarun, tazakkarun. It was originally tazakkarun, right? Tanazzala, what tatanazzala. So right, tatanazzalu is tatanazzala. Sorry, tanazzalu. So when there are two tasks together, it is permissible in that case for one ta to get dropped. So it can be hiya tatadaraka. In that case, it is going to be fail mudare mansoob bil fathatu zahira. Bil fathatu zahira in nema is going to be the outside doer, and then there is no gender mismatch in that case. Okay, so both of the cases are allowed here. Okay, it can be both. Apply both. Both are applicable, because if it is not, if both are correct, if the grammatical rules can be applied, you can treat this word as huwa tadaraka fail madin, and ni'matun as an outside doer, and the gender mismatch is allowed. You take that opinion as well. You are going to write that opinion too. And if it can be treated as hiya tadaraka hu, that is also correct. You are just going to say that hasfuta, just because for ease, right? For takfif, easy, or is it still confusing to some of you? I want everyone to be attentive and to understand this, that this can be hiya tadaraka and it can be huwa tadaraka fail madin. Okay, and both ways you have to be sure how are you going to call it fail madin huwa, and you have to defend you have to present your case. You have to bring the evidence that how come huwa is allowed in this case, how this outside doer is an fake feminine, and there's a distance between the doer and the fail, so there is a gender mismatch allowed in this case. So laula is there, and you have this masdarul muawwal, right? So this masdarul muawwal is going to be labeled as what? No, but that is that no, what is the labeling for masdar al muawwal? You are going to treat it as jumla, as any ism. So when you have any ism, so by the default you think of it as rafa, and rafa in that case is going to mean that it is a mubtada of the sentence, right? It is a mubtada of the sentence. And if it is a mubtada of the sentence, and if you go to my short series on lawla, in that short series I have mentioned that it is in throughout the Quran. Throughout Quran, lawla has its mubtada after it. Lawla shartiya will have mubtada after it, and it has a khabar which is always mahzoof, and the khabar is going to be kalima mawjoodun. 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 Okay? Kalima mawjoodun is the khabar of that mubtada that is always omitted, always mahzoof. So this is just the mubtada with khabar mahzoof, and this is the jumla ismiya following lawla, and lawla is shartiya. After shart, we are going to look for jawab, and jawab is beginning with lamul waqia fi jawabul qasam, fi jawabul shart, I'm sorry, and nubiza bil ra'i wa huwa mazmum. So nubiza is going to be your Nubiza is going to be fail madin, and is it ma'loom or majhul? It is majhul, and who is going to be the pronoun in Nubiza? Who is the pronoun? Bil arai is going to be jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil fail here, and wow is again going to be halia. Huwa is going to be mubtada. Mazmumun is going to be the khabar of this mubtada. Again, it is wajib for wow to be there in this jumla ismiya because huwa is in the beginning of the sentence. The pronoun is in the beginning of the sentence. I hope this is clear to all of you. And the status of this jawabu shart is always going to be the status of this jawabu shart is always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, because anytime you have adwatu shart ghair jazima, jawab is always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Now see fajtabahu. There is going to be an at because he would have been thrown by the bank while he was blamed. Then his Rabb chose him, right? So it is litartib wa taqib. So it is fa'al atf. Very well done, Sister Faiza. Ijtaba is going to be your fail madin, and the mir here is huwa, and this word has an outside doer, rabbu, right? And who that is attached to ishtaba is going to be mafulun bihi, right? It is answering your who question. Rabbuhu is idafa, and rab is going to be the outside doer. In this case, the who is majroor bil idafa, right? فَجَعَلَهُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. فَجَعَلَ, the fa is going to be again at لِلتَّرْتِيبِ وَالتَّعْقِيبِ. It is 12:30. لِلتَّرْتِيبِ وَالتَّعْقِيبِ, and جَعَلَهُ is fail madin. والضمير والفاعل ضمير مستتر هو, and this is fail madin mabni ala al-fatha. So is ijtaba fail madin mabni ala al-fatha, but in this case fatha is zahira, but in case of ijtaba fatha is going to be muqaddara, because this alif is never going to take any fatha tama kasra. Therefore, it is mabni alal fatha, fatatul muqaddara. Is this clear to all of you? My dear sisters? Alhamdulillah. Now when you look at ja'ala, what are the types of ja'ala that come to your mind? What do you think about ja'ala? It can be from Very good job, Sister Faiza. It is the one that takes two mafulun bihis. If it is the one that takes two mafulun bihis, can you tell me where does it belong? What are the group of af'al this word belong to? Yes, Sister Faiza, you are right. Yes, it is going to be it is the sister of your zanna. It is the sister of zanna. It is from af'alu tahwil, right? Tahwil, the verbs of transformation. Verbs of transformation. Zanna has to do with qalb, right? Zanna has to do with qalb, but when it comes to ja'ala, it has to do with tahwil, right? It changes it. It has to do with the transformation, right? It is from afalu tahwil, and in this case, who is going to be your mafulun bihi awwal, and minas salihina is going to be your muta'alliq. Yes, so it is Sister Kazi, is it minas salihina is going to be maful bihi sanin or muta'alliq bil maful bihi sani? It is going to be muta'alliq bil maful bihi sanin, and I do not want any of you to forget about how we have learned this whole concept of jala and zonna wa akhwatuha taking two mafulun bihis. This is all very clearly explained in your session number 197 when we were learning our Surah Taha. Okay, so remember, in that case, and at that time, I taught you how you are going to how you are going to find your maful bihi awwal and sanin, right? You're going to just change just think up through things, and the same thing is going to be applied today as well. Who is going to be huwa minas salihin? You have to think about this whole chunk as huwa minas salihin. Huwa was mubtada, minas salihin was muta'alliq bil khabar mahzuf. So the same thing is now who is going to be mafulun bihi awwal, minas salihin is going to be muta'alliq bil mafulun bihi sanin that has been omitted. Easy. And ja'ala is from nawasikhul mubtada wal khabar, right? It is from nawasikhul mubtada wal khabar. If you all remember, and you all must remember, okay? Now comes your verse number 51, and we are almost at the end of the surah. وَإِن يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَإِن يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ. So here, waw is going to be isti'naf. Now we are going to, we have shifted the gears. Previously, who were we learning about? وَجَعَلَهُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. We were learning about Yunus alayhi salam. And now the gears have been shifted. There is a change in the story, right? The camera is now on who? On Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the mushrikeen, right? The Prophet and the mushrikeen. So now see what is happening. Waw is going to be isti'naf, right? Starting a new topic, starting a new conversation. We have shifted the direction of our cameras. Now Allah has shifted it to right in towards Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in this case, the in that is following waw is a harf. And there are three types of in that you have learned. And actually, there are four, but we have covered three types of in. So this is the in which is going to be mukaffafa as per my sisters. And some are saying it is shartiya. Oh, no, you are just telling me the types of in, I think, probably. Is this in shartiya or mukaffafa? So yeah, there are many hints here. There is in that is being followed by a lam, and the mudare after it is not majzoom, and it is anyways, this mudare is not that kind of a mudare that we expect to see. So this in is going to be in is here in mukhaffafa min inna thaqila, and yakadu here is your giveaway, is a giveaway. It is, when in mukhaffafa is there, it is usually followed by your afalul muqaraba. It is followed by afalul qulub. It can be followed by kana wa akhwatuha, right? These are the af'al that you expect to see. Not jamid. There are three types of af'al that you are going to expect to see after this in mukhaffafa that are possibly that can be there. Not always, but they can be there. It can be followed by kana wa akhwatuha, af'alul qulub, which includes zanna wa akhwatuha, like im wajadna, and then it can be followed by kada. Okay, af'alul muqaraba. Easy. So yakadu is from which category? Is it from kana family, or is it from zanna family, or is it from muqaraba family? Is it I'm calling muqaraba, it's similar to kana, but it's it is, remember I have been teaching you that it has been put separately. The reason being kana wa akhwatuha can take jar wal majroor and mufrad ism, and they can take a jumla as their khabar and jumla ismiya as their khabar and jumla fi'liya as their khabar. When it comes to kada wa akhwatuha, you are only going to see fi'l mudari as the khabar of kada wa akhwatuha. Is it clear to all of you? So kada wa akhwatuha are put together in like separately. And in kada wa akhwatuha, you find afalu shuru, you find afalu raja that we covered in the last session, asa from there, and then afalul muqaraba itself. Okay? And what is common in them is that they only have fail mudari as their khabar, right? What is common among them is that they have failul mudari as their khabar. Okay, so in yakadu lazina, yakadu is going to be your failul muqaraba, and it is naqis, it is nasikh, right? You all agree? This thing about kada wa akhwatuha, that they are nasikh and nasikh. So they're also from those of all like ja'ala that are from nawasikhul mubtada wal khabar, right? So yakadul lazina kafaru. Allazina kafaru is going to be, allazina is a mawsool followed by silatul mawsool kafaru, which is la muhalla laha min al-i'rab, and allazina is going to be, what are the i'rab for allazina? How should I label allazina? Give me the i'rab for allazina. After yakadu, yes, it is fi mahalli rafa'in, but what is it in relation to yakadu? Mafi, let me, it is ismu kada. Very good job, Sister Kazi. It is going to be ismu kada. It is going to be, it is going to be ismu kada. After ismu kada, what should I look for? If I have a ismu kada, which is allazina kafaru, I should look for khabru kada, and my khabru kada is going to be this jumlatul failya. And remember, we just talked about it. The khabar of kada is jumla failya fail mudare, right? Yazliqunak is fail mudare, marfu bi thabutin noon li'annahu min al-af'al al-khamsa, because it is from af'al al-khamsa, so it is marfu bi thabutin noon. And here the doer is waw al jama'a, and kaful khitab here is mafulun bihi. Bi absarihim is going to be jar wal majroor and idafa, and this lam, as Sister Aisha is saying, is going to be lamul fariqa, because this helped us determine that this in cannot be nahya or nafya. This in is not nafya. Okay, it is not nafya. I'm going to help you. I'll just give it. Is this clear? Okay. Lamma sami'u dhikra. Lamma is there. Lam, this lam is going to be lamul farika. Afsha, is it clear? Yeah, lamul farika, this one, the one that is attached to fi'l mudari. Okay. So now we have lamma sami'u. Lamma is there. It is going to be, it is followed by past tense. So first of all, when it is followed by past tense, it is going to be ismiya, zarfiya, ismiya, zarfiya. So it is noun of time, zarf zaman, right? Whenever it is followed by past tense, you have to treat lamma as ismiya, zarfiya. Okay, it is a noun of time. The next thing you think about lamma is then what is its, is it, is it mudaf as well? Is it mudaf as well? Right? It's always going to be mudaf in that case too. And its mudaf ilayhi is going to be always, its mudaf ilayhi is going to be always jumla, which is, the status of the jumla is going to be fi mahalli jarin, just like with, just like nada is fi mahalli jar. Similarly, sami'u is fi mahalli jarrin mudafun ilayhi for lamma, and the reason for that is because lamma is mabni. It is mabni. Okay, it's always going to take a jumla as its mudaf ilayhi. The next thing is, how are you going to connect it to whatever has been mentioned before? So there is, you can treat it as, lamma is shartiya, zarfiya, ismiya, and does it have its jawabu shart here mentioned after it? Is there any jawabu shart mentioned after lamma sami'u dhikra? There is, huh? Aisha, where do you see jawabu shart? It is not mentioned, right? Between shart and jawabu shart, you cannot have waw, right? Between shart and jawabu shart, you cannot have waw. You don't expect waw. So, but when you have, it is mahzoof. It is omitted. It is mahzoof. So, when it is mahzoof, do you think whatever has been mentioned before is dalla ala jawabu shart? Yes, it is dalla alayha ma qablaha. Whatever is mentioned before it is denoting jawabu shart. Absolutely, you can consider it, denoting the jawabu shart. And remember, and it is, it is denoting the possible jawabu shart. Okay, but anytime when you have lamma sami'u dhikra, or lamma which is ismiya, shartiya, zarfiya, how do you label lamma in that case? Okay, let me see. When they hear the message, when they hear the message, those who disbelieve would almost make you slip with their eyes. So, do you think it makes sense? When they hear the message, what do? By their eyes, they would try to make you slip. Right? So, the lala ma alayha ma qablaha, but your jawabu shart is omitted, and the i'rab for lamma sami'u dhikra, what are the i'rab then? Whenever you have lamma or iza, how do we label lamma and iza? Just think about it. They are muta'alliq to their jawab. So what are you going to write now? Muta'alliq bil jawabu shart mahzoof, right? Muta'alliq bil jawab mahzoof. You are just going to write it as muta'alliq bil jawab mahzoof. Is this clear to all of you? But for your understanding and for the literature purposes, for the grammar purposes, you have understood that whatever is mentioned before can be denoting the jawab, but in reality, there is no jawab mentioned, and lamma always is muta'alliq bil its jawab. Idha always it's going to be muta'alliq bil its jawab. Kullama always is going to be muta'alliq bil its jawab, right? So remember, now when the jawab is not mentioned, you can just say that it is muta'alliq bi jawab mahzoof. Okay, muta'alliq bi jawab mahzoof. And then comes وَيَقُولُونَ. وَيَقُولُونَ. How will you label this? Atf, yaquluna is going to be ma'tuf ala yazliquna, right? It is ma'tuf ala yuzliquna, yuzliquna, and yaquluna is mudare, marfu bi thabutin noon, and waw is the doer, and innahu lamajnoon is going to be maqulul qawl. Maqulul qawl fi mahalli nasbin, right? Fi mahalli nasbin, and it is a jumla ismiya in which innahu harf nasb wa ismuha. Lam is going to be called muzahlaqa. Majnoonun is going to be khabru inna, right? Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now the last part is last verse. وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Okay, so time is 12:47. So okay, now so it can be let's just okay first let's do the words and then we can see how we can label this. Okay, ma, what is the type of ma that is followed by illa? Whenever ma is followed by illa, you think about ma nafiya. Can it be hijaziya when there is an illa present between ism and khabar? Can ever it be hijaziya? No, it never can be ma'al hijaziya. Ma'al hijaziya works like laysa. It loses its function if there is an illa between mubtada and khabar. If there is an illa between mubtada and khabar, then ma'al hijaziya loses its function and is called ma al nafiya muhmila, which is this type because there is mubtada, which was huwa, and zikrun is the khabar, and there is an illa present between mubtada and khabar, right? So this one is nafiya muhmila, not hijaziya, and huwa is mubtada, and zikrun is going to be the khabar, lil alamina is going to be muta'alliq bil khabar, and or you can just muta'alliq bil khabar, you can just use zikrun, can be connected like a complex sifa as well. If you want to treat it like that, that's okay too. But now think about this zikr here and this zikr before. So if you want to label it as hal, does it make a case that it can be hal? Why not, Sister Faiza? When they hear the zikr, their eyes would they want to make you slip through their eyes, and they say indeed he is majnoon. And this and the zikr is what, and not this, but a reminder for the it can be jumla haliya, right? And in this case again, because the jumla is being negated by ma, when jumla is negated by ma, you see you have the first zikr can it is talking about this is talking about whatever has been mentioned before, a zikr, right? So wow is always there. Yeah, absolutely, Sister Zarina, that's correct. Always going to be there in the beginning if ma nafiya is in there, right? It can be considered as jumla haliya too, right? So is this clear to all of you? This verse, easy one, right? And this one, this illa, is it for hasar or for is it acting something like something else? It is for hasar, right? It is for hasar. Okay, so now I want to go over your test. Okay. Okay. So Alhamdulillah, most of you have already taken your test, so we can go over it, and I've anyways closed the test for everyone. So in Jumla Ismiya, the status of Mubtada is going to be always rough in it is always rough in status. In Jumla Ismiya, Khabar is always Rafa Nasab or Jar. Khabar is always rough in status. In Jumla Ismiya, Jar wal Majroor and Zarf are labeled as and zarf are labeled as muta'alliq bil khabar. We have been labeling it as muta'alliq bil khabar, right? Muta'alliq bil khabar. In case of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamina, what are the i'rab of the underlined words? It is going to be muta'alliq bil khabar, right? Muta'alliq bil khabar. Alhamdu, what are the i'rab of the underlined words? It is going to be called mubtada. In this case, Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran, halakal insan, allamahul bayan. So what are the i'rab of verses 2, 3, and 4? How will you connect? Allama al-Quran, halakal insan, allamahul bayan. So what are these three? These are going to be all labeled as, these sentences are going to be khabar fi mahalli raf'in, and there are three akhbar of Ar-Rahman. That Ar-Rahman is the one who teaches the Quran, he created the insan, and he taught him the eloquence as well, right? So these are the akhbar. So the khabar is the right answer. In Arabic, is mubtada always in the beginning of the sentence? No. So everyone must have been, gotten, you all must have, selected, must have selected the right answer. Is mubtada always proper? No, right? It can be common too, right? Khabar of jumla ismiya can be mufrad ism, jumla. Both options given above. So is it A, B, or the last one? Both options given above, right? هذه جهنم التي يكذب بها المجرمون. What is the type of khabar in jumla ismiya above? Mufrad ism, jumla ismiya, or jumla fi'liya? What do you think is the type of khabar in this case? It is Afshan. هذه جهنم. This is hell. This is Jahannam. The one the criminals have been denying. So mufradism, right? Jahannam is the khabar, and there is a sifa of Jahannam, which is allati yukazzibu bihal mujrimuna. So there is mawsoof or sifa relationship between Jahannam and allati. So this Jahannam is the khabar, and allati is its sifa. So khabar, the type of khabar is mufradism. Is this clear to all of you? Even if you still have confusion, let me know now. Are you all good with that? Allati is a sifa of Jahannam. Jahannam is mu'annas samai, and is proper name of hellfire. Allati is feminine word. It is proper, right? Both are feminine, both are proper, both are singular. Jahannam is rafin status. Allati is non-flexible, but if raf works for me, I will make it, rafin status, and we'll call it as a sifa. Both proper, yeah. Got it? And then its silatul mawsool is jumla failure. Its silatul mawsool is jumla failure, but the khabar of jumla ismiya, hazihi is mubtada, jahannam is the khabar. And that is it. Okay? And therefore it is a mufradism. You have to select mufradism here. So should we go to the next question? Fihima aynani nadakhatani. What is the type of the sentence? Is it jumla ismiya or jumla failure? It is jumla ismiya, right? Fihima jar wal majroor, aynani mubtada muakhar, nadakhatani is the sifa for aynani, right? Aynani nadakhatani, mawsoof wa sifa. And what is the sign of rough status in aynani? What is the sign of rough status? Alif. Very well done. Very well done. Select all correct answers. What are the two reasons for the permissibility of common mubtada in the verse above? There is a sifa for mubtada. The mubtada has mudaf ilayhi. The mubtada is matuf. The mubtada has jar wal majroor in the beginning. So 1 and 4 are the right answers. And Sister Zarina, you are absolutely correct, because mubtada was a mawsoof and mubtada had jar wal majroor before it, so it is permissible. It is from musabbigat, from those musabbigat where ibtida can be with the nakira. Wa min dunihima jannatani. The ayah above is an example of fragments, jumla ismiya or jumla fi'liya. It was an easy one. من دونهما جار والمجرور متعلق بالخبر مقدم, and جنتان was again مبتدا مؤخر and it is مرفوع بالالف, right? It is مرفوع because there is an alif after ta, جنتان, right? Easy. والنجم والشجر يسجدان. In verse above, the khabar is jumla fi'liya, right? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Above verse is an example of jumla ismiya or jumla fi'liya. I want everyone to answer so that, if there isn't any confusion, it is jumla fi'liya. See, بِأَيِّ. This was بِأَيِّ. بِأَيِّ is jar wal majroor. أَيِّ آلَاءِ idafa. آلَاءِ Rabbi, another idafa. Kuma, Rabbi Kuma is another idafa. So there is a jar wal majroor, and then there is chain of idafa to kazibani, and this jar wal majroor is connected to and is muta'alliq to kazibani, right? So therefore, this is an example of jumla failure. Jumla failure. It is muta'alliq bil fail. Fabi ayyi muta'alliq bil fail. Yes, Sister Zora, you can unmute yourself, my dear sister.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I think I got confused in this question. I thought the fail should be in the beginning for the jumla to be failure.
Never, remember, I've been emphasizing it from the very beginning of the course, when that, don't confuse this, that, if there is an ism in the beginning, it is going to be jumla ismiya, and if there's a fail in the beginning, it's going to be jumla failure. Remember how we have been learning that for some words there is sadaratul kalam, and we have been doing many examples since the very beginning, and that's okay. That is why the tests are taken. That's why the practice continues. That's why I keep on bringing surahs to you guys, so that you see how things are going to work. See, there is never, when you were learning about kaifa, when you kaifa tahkumuna, that is an example of jumla failure, right? In your suratul qalam,
Yeah.
right? This one that we just recently did, kaifa was in the beginning. Kaifa tahkumuna. Kaifa, this is an example of jumla failure. Kaifa is the word for which there is sadaratul kalam. It has to be in the beginning. This is hal, in the beginning. Tahkumuna is going to be fail mudare marfu, but the jumla as a whole is jumla failure. And why kaifa is in the beginning? Because it is from those words that must be in the beginning. Fail cannot be. And never, remember, never ever, and this has been from Talimul Quran, I have been telling people that don't say that, if ism is in the beginning, the jumla is going to be jumla ismiya. If the fail is in the beginning, jumla is going to be, jumla failure. Think through things, because sometimes you do have examples of mafulun bihi muqaddam, like iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Pronoun is in the beginning, ism is in the beginning, but we treat it as jumla failure, right? We call iyaka as our mafulun bihi muqaddam, and na'budu as fail mudare marfu and all that, but because there is also, again, for iyaka also, it must be in the beginning, it must be in the sadaratul kalam in this particular situation. Okay, so is this clear to all of you, that how you have to look at the verse and find your answers, and it's going to be, inshallah, with practice, nothing is hard. Everything is going to be, inshallah, very easy. I'm assuring you that. Then let's do this last question. وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. أَن تَصُومُوا is, think of this as siyamun khairul lakum, or somun khairul lakum. So is this an tasumu your what is a mubtada? Lakum khairun or an tasumu? Your masdarul muawwal is going to be your mubtada, right? In this case. So inshallah, I will continue with the rest of the questions in our next session, so that if there is any confusion, you can still ask me, just as Sister Zora has asked me. I appreciate you asking me, so that, if there is any confusion, we can always talk about it. We can, try to clarify things, and I can re-explain things as well. Okay. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters. Take care. You too. Take